I've searched the entire internet for this cheating method, but couldn't find anything about this, and it's shocking. Cheating is going to be impossible to stop in the future, and no one is talking about it at all. There's typically two ways to cheat in today's gaming: modded hardware that lets you, for example, shoot 20 times with one click, or a software that lets you see the enemy behind walls, lock onto their head instantly, or alter the game's behavior to your advantage. But this form of cheating is unstoppable. It's not here yet, but once it will be, it's going to ruin gaming and sports forever. We've just recently received a tiny glimpse to the success with Neuralink's chip exploring brain-computer interface technology. It's not hard to conceptualize with how fast technology is advancing today that one day the majority of people would have a more advanced brain chip that would not only interface with a computer, but would be able to move your body through its software. You can reasonably combat cheating today with an invasive kernel-level access to recognize the cheats that are working in the machine that plays the game. You can even write specialized software to recognize patterns given off by a modded hardware. But how can you recognize cheating when it's inside the player? What if I had a fully functioning chip inside my body that interfaced with my PC and it could interpret the data? This chip could give me a nerve signal or a noise that only I can hear to tell me every time that I'm aiming at someone's head so I could shoot at the right time. It wouldn't be as powerful as an aimbot, but it would still be a clear advantage over the average player. You can obviously combat that by not allowing players that have BCI into the game and avoid all the headache. But what if my brain chip now has access to what I see, and through visual recognition it can tell me when it's the right time to shoot without interfacing with the game in any way, making the game believe I'm just a regular player. Now let's imagine a very advanced brain chip that has control over my nerves as well. It could be trained to visually recognize the targets on screen and control my body to snap onto the target's head in an instant, giving me a fully functional aimbot that has no trace on the local machine that plays the game. The only way to stop that kind of cheating is to ID a player before they play the game, and if they have a brain chip, they would need to install the game's anti-cheat software on their brain chip. Even in the dystopian reality we live today, where the majority of the world has a Chinese spy app installed on their phone with a microphone and a camera, I don't see people willingly giving access to their brain chip to Riot's Vanguard anti-cheat program. A brain chip controlling your nerves and having a modifiable software is its own can of worms that can be exploitative and dystopian without letting anti-cheat software inside of it. So I don't want to go down that road and explore this vulnerability, but rather focus on gaming and sports. If I go with that brain chip into an esports event, I could win the entire thing without even showing a sign of cheating, like a USB stealthily inserted to the local machine. The only way to stop it would be to ban brain chip users from competing or gaining access to that brain chip via software. But what if the brain chip contains medical data and it's also there to help me with muscle paralysis and I can only move my body with that chip inside of me? Would it be cheating if a computer chip inside my body controls my movement and it's the only way I can move, even without a cheating software? What if that same chip in its out-of-the-box configuration gives you a better hand-eye coordination than any non-chipped human can ever achieve? What would it mean for non-esports competitions? Would we make an exception for people who have to use it, just like we allow assistant dogs on planes, and just like some sports allow competitors to take what would be considered performance-enhancing drugs if they have to take it due to a medical condition? Or should we bar them from competitions completely? Would you ban someone from competitive events because they're disabled? They already couldn't compete without the chip inside of them, so what does it matter? Even if we make separate leagues for them, why would we want to watch it if the biggest factor in this competition is who has the best software attached to the better hardware? And on a more philosophical level, aren't all sports already a competition between those who have the best hardware and software combination? These are answers that we better tackle now and come up with a solution before this concept becomes a reality.